Welcome to Colts Law. I'm Lawrence Owen, and today we are going to do some grading. That's right, but not this year's draft. No. We're going to grade the 2018 draft class for the Indianapolis Colts. Now, why do you say, why would I grade a draft class from 3 years prior? Well, that's about when you should grade a draft class. I mean, after 3 years, you know what kind of player you got. You know if they're a scheme fit. You know the type of player they are. You know more about that draft from what they've been able to produce over the course of 3 seasons. Now, I want to say, before I get into this, if you are watching this right now, please type into the comment section, no matter what team you follow, if it's the Colts or some other NFL team, type in your grades for your team's 2018 draft class. I want to know how you feel. Don't forget, smash the like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, tag the notification bell, and make sure all notifications are on so that you are notified next time I upload a video or go live. Don't forget, check out the description of the video as well. For my Patreon, you can become a member of Patreon for only $5 a month. And, yeah, you get all of my stuff from no matter where I posted it, plus Patreon-specific things. Don't forget, I have a merch shop and a tip shop there as well. Links in the description. Now, let's get into the 2018 Indianapolis Colts draft class. Now, before the draft, before the Colts actually selected anybody in 2018, they traded back. The Indianapolis Colts traded their third overall pick in 2018 to the New York Jets. Now, the Colts obviously giving the Jets the third overall pick, and the Jets gave the Colts the 6th overall pick, the 37th overall pick, the 49th overall pick in 2018, and then they gave them their 2019 second round pick. That's right. The Colts moved back 3 spaces and got 3 second round picks in trade. Yeah, I don't know if you can't grade that as an A+. That's amazing. That is a heck of a move right there. A+ right there, getting 3 second round picks just to move back 3 spaces. It's not like they were the top 2 picks in this draft. They had the 3rd pick in the draft. So A+ for that trade. Now, they're at 6. They're at pick 6 in 2018. Who'd they get? A guard? What? You don't pick a guard top tip. Oh, wait. He's going to be an all-pro multiple times, Pro Bowler multiple times, considered by his 3rd year as the best guard in the NFL. Maybe you do pick a guard 6th overall. Yeah, you gotta grade this as an A+ as well. I mean, multiple All-Pros every stinking year, right? He made being an offensive lineman cool, right? For the Indianapolis Colts and the NFL in general, highlight films of offensive line became a thing because Quentin Nelson. So this is definitely an A+, without any question. A+. Now let's go down to the second round, right? I mean, the Colts had 3 second round picks in this. The first one they used to select some linebacker out of South Carolina State. Darius Leonard? Really? The 36th overall pick goes to an undersized, small school linebacker. Well, at the time, a lot of places graded this as an F. I'm not going to shout out names on who they graded this as an F, but when now you're looking back on it, and Darius Leonard now is, just a name known across the country, no matter what team you play for, what team you root for. Darius Leonard is synonymous for high impact playing. He's everywhere. He's always on the ball. He's making a play on the ball all the time. And he's all pro. Multiple time all pro, multiple time Pro Bowler. As a second round pick. Now, that sounds like another A+ to me. Can you drop an A++ for grabbing someone that a lot of people thought was an awful pick, turned out to be an A+ pick? You should be able to. A+ is for a home run out of the park in my book. And that's the only way I'll grade A+. Home run out of the park. Darius Leonard was a bigger pick than Quentin Nelson. Because Quentin Nelson, even though he was an offensive lineman, was still a no-brainer in that aspect. You knew what you were getting from Quentin Nelson. Most people did not know what they were getting out of Darius Leonard, save the Indianapolis Colts GM Chris Ballard and his specific scouting crew. Now, some other people actually had Darius Leonard as a good player, but they didn't actually see him becoming a multiple All-Pro, right? So this is an A+. I wish I could get A+++, but, those don't exist. Let's drop down to the second pick of the second round for the 2018 Colts. That'd be guard from Auburn, Braden Smith. A guard, 52nd. No, I'm sorry, 37th. No, yeah, 37th overall. That's right. He was 37th overall. Braden Smith, a guard. Well, they selected 2 guards in their first 3 picks. Braden Smith thought, we thought he was going to be a good guard, and then immediately ended up having to go out to tackle in his rookie season. Played okay, got better as the season went on. His second year got even better, and his third year was absolutely great. As a right guard, being selected, put into being right tackle, and holding the fort down at right tackle, and now officially is a right tackle, because now if you go look at the Colts, you'll see that it says guard/tackle rather than just guard. They finally adjusted his status on the team. This is an A. It's not an A+, because it's not a home run out of the park. But it's an A because it is an excellent pick. They got a 3-year starter in the first 3 years, playing at an average or above average to very good caliber at his position. Braden Smith is an A. No question. Move down to the 52nd overall pick. Right? Round 2. Defensive end out of Rutgers, Kemoko Turay. Now, Kemoko was a guy that Ballard picked, and he was someone that they didn't expect to splash right away, but was hoping and praying that Kemoko had so much upside that with a little bit of work, he could end up being a very, very good third down pass rush specialist. And at times during his career, such as, in 2019, right up until week 5, he was showing that. But then injury happened. He's gone for over a year with multiple surgeries to a nasty busted ankle. Now, how do you grade a guy who's injured a lot? Or at least for the majority of what seems to be where he should be starting for the team. It's very difficult to grade something like that. This year, in his 4th year, will be a make or break season for him, in my opinion. I give it a C because the potential is there. It hurts that he got injured. I still think he has high potential. He's still on the team. He hasn't been cut. And Ballard and the coaching staff still speak very highly of him. And we all love his work ethic. But because production has not been there, whether or not it is injury related or not, I still have to give this pick a C overall. The 64th overall pick in the 2018 NFL Draft was defensive lineman out of Ohio State, Taekwon Lewis. Again, another guy a lot of people was looking at. Now, he was not 64th overall to begin with. I earlier said the Colts had 3 second-round picks. Well, Taekwon Lewis was a third-round pick. The Colts used their third-round pick and moved up to get Taekwon Lewis in the second round. The last pick in the second round. All right. So they moved up a whole bunch of spots to grab Taekwon Lewis, thinking, you know what, this is a guy we feel can play the 3-tech or could play defensive end if needed, right? Could play defensive end on running downs, can play 3-tech on pass rush downs, things of that nature. Again, he's been slow to develop. Now, last year he showed some promise. There was games last year where he really started to look like he was a very good player. But when you move up as much as they did to pick up a guy in the second round, I don't care if it's the end of the second round, in his first 3 seasons, he should have made an impact on the team. And I know of 2 games in my head that he made an impact on in 3 years. Love Taekwon. I think, again, he's a guy who could be a very viable starter someday, but he hasn't lived up to the pick of a second-round pick, let alone moving up to get him in the second round and losing other picks in doing so. I give this a C+. Why? Why do I give this a C+ when I just gave Kemoko Turay a C? Well, to be fair, Taekwon Lewis has been there. You know, last year he was available and he played at times. Availability is sometimes the best ability, correct? The majority of the time. So I give it a C+. Now, I just said that the Colts used their third round pick to move up to get Taekwon Lewis in the second round. So now we move down to the fourth round. The 104th overall pick in the 2018 NFL Draft for the Indianapolis Colts was NC State running back Nahim Hines. Yeah, Nahim Hines come in. We had Marlon Mack. Didn't know what was going to happen with that. We needed somebody. We no longer had Frank Gore. And he's a scat back. He's a guy obviously the Colts could use in the return game. He's a guy that the Colts could use, as a receiving back out of the backfield. And he has had multiple impacts over his first 3 seasons in the NFL with the Indianapolis Colts. Many expect Nahim Hines to get an extension this year. Or at least they're hoping for it. Nahim Hines has had multiple punt return touchdowns in a game, let alone a season. He has improved year by year in yards per carry and has consistently been a weapon out of the backfield in the passing game for Frank Reich and that offense. And this being a 4th round pick, I'm going to give this an A-. Now, is it a home run out of the park? Is he an all-proer? No. Is he a Pro Bowler? No. But he's a consistent contributor at multiple levels. A-. Now moving down to the 5th round, 159th overall pick. Darius Fountain, wide receiver out of Northern Iowa. This is a sad case of somebody who cannot stay healthy the entire time he is with the Indianapolis Colts. He was a preseason and training camp monster, but he kept getting hurt. And in the 3 seasons, he was unable to really cement himself as a wide receiver. It's one of the reasons why the Colts still have to keep picking guys out there in the draft and in free agency. And I wish Darius well. He was released from the Colts this past season. I hope he does well. If he does not sign with another team, maybe the Colts go back and look at him. I wish the man well, but because he's a 5th round pick, he's still not with the team, it's a D+. It's a D+ because he's still in the league. So I give him that. And he shows promise as a receiver. But again, the best ability, availability. Moving down to the next 5th round pick, 169th overall in the last pick of round 5, running back out of Mississippi, Jordan Wilkins. Again, a guy who came in. Colts were expecting, we had Marlon Mack. They went out and got 2 running backs to back Mack up. One, obviously, was Nahim Hines, more of a scat back than anything. Jordan Wilkins. They grabbed him up thinking he could be a guy who could carry the load if needed. And he hasn't really needed to carry the load because Marlon Mack has done a very good job. Jonathan Taylor last year did a very good job. He hasn't been needed as much. Now, he has been used in backup roles on multiple occasions. Multiple occasions. Led the NFL in his first 2 seasons with average per carry for any running back with at least 50 carries or more. Led the NFL. All right? That says something. Makes you wonder why he's, the 3rd, sometimes 4th running back in the stable for the Indianapolis Colts. And the reason is they've got a lot of really good running backs. I don't expect Jordan Wilkins to be on the team after this year. But I expect him to be an NFL player. I expect him to be grabbed up and probably increase his role with a different team as long as he doesn't get hurt at the end of this year or during this upcoming season. I like this pick. He has produced well when called upon. He's a very smooth runner, and he makes very good cuts that are barely noticeable unless you're like watching on film, but in live action, you don't see him very well. And because you don't see him very well, the defenders don't either, and it makes it difficult to tackle him, which is why he had such a high average per carry. I give this pick a B+ because it is a 5th round pick on a running back, and it's not his fault. There was just a lot more talent on the roster over the last 3 years than what would be expected on another. I think he could be a starting running back on multiple teams in the NFL. I give this a B+. Moving down to the 6th round, 185th overall. Wide receiver out of Clemson, Dionte Kane. Dionte Kane. Poor guy. He's had issues. Again. He's had issues all over the place. Come in, had issues with how hard he was working. His effort. He had issues with not being in sync with his quarterback. I can't tell you how many times early on in his career the ball was thrown to him and it just hit him in the back of the helmet or right between the numbers on his back, right? Now, he's still in the NFL. He's currently a wide receiver for the Baltimore Ravens, right? So that's a big plus. I'm happy for that. So he's not an F pick because he's still in the NFL. But he did not perform early. I'm going to give this again, a D plus. For different reasons than what his co-partner at wide receiver was picked up, had the D plus for, is because he just did not have, he just didn't click with the team properly, and he has been moved on to multiple teams since then. Now we're not done. This was a huge draft for Ballard. We still have 2 7th-round picks to go over. 2. The 221st pick overall, right? Linebacker out of Houston, Matthew Adams. Still on the team. Still on the team. Still on the depth chart, playing. Special teamer. Can play a couple different positions. Is he a starter? No. But he's good depth. And for a 7th-round pick to be good depth and still on the team this late in a draft, 3 years into his career, and he's still on the team, you got to give the guy something. This is a B minus. Because of the position and the fact he's still on the team and he still contributes. I'm going the same way, same route with the 235th overall pick. Linebacker out of Syracuse, Zaire Franklin. Again, still on the team. 3 years later, 7th-round pick, still on the team. That's impressive. Special teamer, depth player, can be relied upon when needed. B+, just because of where they're picked and that they're still on the team. And the Colts had guys on the roster that they were able to still stay on the team with. When you got guys like Darius Leonard, Bobby Okereke, and Anthony Walker Jr., you had 3 definite starters at linebacker, and they're still on the team. Now, Anthony Walker obviously had to walk this year, get picked up by the Cleveland Browns. I wish him well. But the fact that they still made the team as 7th-round picks and are still there and still producing, I'm incredibly impressed. This is an A+. Even though there's 2 Ds. 2 Ds in this. It's a 4th and a 5th-round pick. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 draft picks, plus the trade in the 2018 draft class for the Indianapolis Colts and Chris Ballard. You cannot look at this and not say this was an A+ draft. What's 2019's draft look like? We'll go over that next year. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget, smash the like button. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. Tag notification bell and all that other stuff. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law. And I want to hear from you. Have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.